welcome back to Good Day Atlanta. He's a movie producer with a string of successful films, including the inspirational hit Miracles from Heaven. DeVon Franklin is also a best-selling author and motivational speaker. He's here today to fill us in on his new book, The Hollywood Commandments, and also a new movie that he has in the works as well. So it's so good to have you here. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Lee. How are you doing?
Welcome to Good Day.
Thank you.
Okay, your book features something that is so cool. It's called the 10 Commandments for Life-Changing Success.
Yes.
And that's really a theme that we see throughout your book. So walk us through what some of those commandments are.
Yeah, you know, I wrote this book to help anyone stuck in their life. And sometimes they see the title and they think it's only for people in Hollywood. Not so.
Yeah.
This is for anybody in any industry looking to be more successful. So these are the top 10 commandments for life-changing success. The first one is your prayers alone aren't enough. And this commandment is all about the value of praying and preparing. Too often we pray, but we don't do. Faith plus works equals life. And I give an anecdote in that commandment about my wife, Megan, who wants to, get into action. And I talked about how she wasn't preparing to become an action star. Right.
Yeah,
So I talked about the value of once she began to prepare herself physically, the action roles that she was aspiring to get ultimately manifested. Why? Because she began to prepare as a way of expecting what was going to happen. One of the other commandments is commandment number 3. You have to carry a crown before you wear one.
Yeah, it's a different way of thinking from how I think a lot of young people are today.
Yes.
They don't want to carry it before they wear it.
And this is why I wrote this commandment, and this is why I'm so passionate about talking about this and the book, because we live in a selfie generation. Everybody wants to put the camera on themselves, but I believe when you turn the camera to somebody else and say, what is your need, and how can I meet it, and how can I serve you, you prepare yourself to one day get the position that you're ultimately striving for, but it comes through service. Service never goes out of style, and right now you can transform your career by serving to the best of your ability. Too often we serve based on how we feel. If I don't like my boss today, or I don't like my colleague, I will render service based upon what I like.
And you can't do that,
You can't do that. We got to give 100% at all times, because it sets us up for where we're supposed to be. And one last commandment that I mentioned in the book, commandment number 8, your difference is your destiny. Too often we want to exchange what makes us different for what makes us common. We have to own our difference, how we think, how we act, how we create, how we look. These are all the things that will contribute to ultimately where we're supposed to be. There have been too many years that I personally spent wishing, oh, I wish I was like this person or that person. But God was saying, no, own who you are. And as I began to do that, life began to change and success began to manifest.
Sure, and help to get to where you are today.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Very cool. Okay, got to mention this too. You talk a lot about your spirituality in the book, but there's a section where you also say Hollywood is what taught you to be successful and not the church, which goes against what a lot of people may think.
I know, because I've been in the church my whole life, and I love the church. And so what I mean by this is that too often we look at the church as an end-all be-all. And the church provides a vital function, but we also have to go into industry to learn what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. So that's where I learned how to play out success. That's how I learned how to become successful, working in Hollywood for 20 years, starting as an intern for Will Smith and now running my own company. I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to handle politics. I learned how to negotiate. I learned how to be patient in my career. So when I say that, I'm saying that I learned so much about the practical application, development, and maintenance of success while working in Hollywood. And I believe that's true of so many people in a wide variety of industry.
So it seems like all of that goes hand in hand with your faith to help you reach the next level.
Absolutely. But this is what I love about why I wrote the book, and one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about getting it to the world is because too often we look at faith as what we do on the weekend. But I look at faith as what we do 24/7, 365 days, 24 hours a day, because faith, when we put it to work in our vocation, when we put it to work in our industry, it becomes practical. How do we absolutely use the power of faith when we believe that promotion is coming? But it may not be for years away, but we never give up on the value. At 18 years old, I started in Hollywood. I knew I was going to become a producer, but I didn't become a producer until 18 years later. Had to have every day faith, believing that one day it was going to come. 157,000 hours of preparation.
Oh my goodness.
6,500 days.
Wow.
But the power of faith worked, because ultimately what I believed was going to happen happened. That's why I wrote the book, to encourage people. You can have faith, and you can use your faith to propel your success without your success compromising your faith.
You know, and part of that success for you has been being a part of those movies. You're actually working on a project right now. What is it?
It's called The Star. It's the animated story of the Nativity. It's the first faith-based animated movie since The Prince of Egypt, which came out over 20 years ago.
So it's about time.
It's about time. And we have some incredible stars. We have Tyler Perry, we have Oprah Winfrey, we have Tracy Morgan, we have Anthony Anderson, we got Kelly Clarkson, Stephen Yeun, Gina Rodriguez. We have Mariah Carey that did the lead song for the movie, which just dropped on Friday, and the song is already tearing it up. It's amazing. This film is so good. We also have Fifth Harmony and Kirk Franklin.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay, when is this coming out?
November 17th. It comes out in theaters all across the country. Our hope is that this is the animated holiday event of the season because it really shows the real meaning of Christmas.
Sure.
The first Christmas through the animal's point of view.
Okay, that looks amazing. You are like one of the most motivational people. I mean, I'm like, I just feel I can do anything, right?
Yes, thank you. You can,
I'm
and
sure
you will.
people at home are walking away like that too. So keep in mind, DeVon Franklin will be signing copies of his book, The Hollywood Commandments, tonight at 7 o'clock at Barnes & Noble on Caroline Street. It is such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Likewise.
thank you for coming
Thanks for having me.
We got to have him come more often.
Let's do it.
My goodness.